Hello, friends. This is Confessions with Amy. Here we share new confessions every day.
We're cutting your salary by 35%. Nothing personal. Just business. I didn't flinch. I didn't blink. But in that moment, something inside me went quiet. Like a switch flipped. Like the part of me that had been loyal, patient, hopeful, just shut off. I looked across the glass desk at Morgan Tate, freshly imported from some corporate branch in Denver. Designer glasses, tailored suit, jaw carved by ambition. He didn't know a damn thing about how we ran things here in Maple Falls, Oregon, but he talked like he owned the oxygen in the room. 35%. After 13 years. I had started at Apex Appliances when we still had peeling linoleum floors and a cash register that jammed if you hit total too fast. Back when we didn't have a training manual, because I was the one who wrote it. I trained every employee who stepped through those doors. I taught them how to handle irate customers, how to upsell without sounding like a scammer, how to read a washing machine specs like a bedtime story. I stayed late, opened early, covered sick days and worked Black Friday shifts when others hid in the break room. I wasn't just a store manager. I was the reason that store worked. And now? I was a line on a spreadsheet. A salary too high for a man who wanted efficiency. His word, not mine. Morgan leaned back, clearly expecting me to argue. Maybe cry. Maybe beg. He tilted his head, fake empathy pasted across his face like a cheap sticker. You've had a good run, Opal, he added. You'll still be here. Just a little leaner. Think of it as a reset. A reset. That was the moment I realized, he thought I needed this job more than it needed me. He thought he was doing me a favor. I smiled. Not because I was okay. Not because I agreed. But because I had already decided. Right there in his office, while he was still talking. I was going to burn this place to the ground, without ever lighting a match. And when I walked out, I wasn't going alone. I didn't quit. Not right away. That's the thing people don't understand about revenge. It's not loud. It's patient. It's precise. I walked out of Morgan Tate's office that day with a thank you and a nod, like he'd just offered me a promotion instead of a gut punch. Then I went straight to the floor and finished my shift. Smiling. Calm. Just like always. But inside? I was already packing my bags. I spent the next few weeks observing. Listening. Gathering. I started with Sierra, my best floor lead, smart, sharp-tongued, loyal to a fault. She'd been with us for 8 years, and she could sell a dishwasher to a guy living in a van. I took her to lunch under the pretense of catching up. By the time the check came, she'd looked me straight in the eye and said, "If you're going, I'm going with you." That was all I needed to hear. Next came Troy, my delivery lead, quiet, ex-Marine, moved like a shadow but worked like a machine. Then Amy from customer service. Leo from repairs. One by one, I touched base with the people I had trained, led, defended. The ones Morgan didn't even know by name. The ones who made Apex run. I didn't tell them everything. Just enough. They asked no questions. They just said, "Tell us when." But building an exodus wasn't enough. I needed a destination. So I called in a favor. Jasper Lynn, a former supplier who now ran a small electronics outfit on the edge of town, had once told me, "If you ever want to start your own place, I'll back you." At the time, I laughed it off. Now? I drove to his warehouse with a clipboard and a 3-page pitch. He didn't even read it. "How much do you need?" he asked. I gave him a number. He didn't blink. 3 weeks later, we signed the lease on a 3,000 square foot space right off Route 12, 2 blocks from Apex. Close enough to remind them. Far enough to be free. Every night after work, I planned. Built supplier lists. Sketched the floor layout. registered the LLC under the name Ironclad Home and Tech. Ironclad. Because that's what I had to become. And still, every morning, I clocked into Apex with a smile. Walked the aisles. Led meetings. Laughed at Morgan's limp jokes. Let him believe I was shrinking quietly under his numbers. But I was only getting stronger. And soon, he'd feel it. The first sign that Morgan realized something was wrong came on a Thursday. Inventory meeting. 9 a.m. sharp. He always walked in with that smug little coffee mug that said, "Efficiency is sexy," like that was a personality. But this time, he was 5 minutes late. And pissed. He sat down, slapped a stack of reports on the table, and said, "Why are sales down 12% this month?" No one spoke. Because we all knew the answer. People had started disappearing. Quietly. First, it was Troy. I told Morgan Troy had a family thing and needed time off. Which wasn't a lie, he was moving shelves into our new store. Then Amy gave her notice. 2 weeks, clean and polite. Morgan replaced her with a temp who once told a customer that TVs don't need warranties if you're careful. Sierra, meanwhile, started working her magic, subtly redirecting high-value customers to hold off on big purchases. "Better stock coming in next month," she'd whisper with a knowing look. That better stock? Ours. But Morgan couldn't see the pattern yet. He was too busy trimming costs, running loyalty workshops, and planning some half-baked 4th of July sale with plastic flags and microwave discounts. He called me into his office that afternoon. "Opal, I'm getting concerned," he said, pretending to sound collaborative. "We're slipping. I need you to get the team motivated again. Some of our best staff are jumping ship." I looked him in the eye and said, "They're not jumping. You pushed them." He didn't like that. His face tightened, like he bit into a lemon he wasn't ready for. "Careful," he said. "That sounds like blame." "No," I said, standing. "That sounds like the truth." He didn't fire me. He wouldn't dare. Not yet. Because despite everything, I was still the only one who understood how that store functioned. I was the duct tape holding it all together, even as I unwrapped myself piece by piece. But the glue was already drying on our new store. Paint on the walls. Sign ordered. Shelf stocked. Jasper had our soft launch campaign ready. Social ads were lined up. Local influencers. A referral program. A ribbon cutting with the mayor's sister, who, by the way, I used to babysit. And Morgan? He was still trying to figure out where his staff was going. Why customers were asking strange questions. Why the phones rang but no one answered. He was standing on a cracking floor, and every creak he heard was me, pulling the nails loose from beneath him. And soon, very soon, he was going to fall straight through. The morning we opened Ironclad, I woke up before my alarm. Not out of nerves. Out of clarity. Out of purpose. 13 years of service, loyalty, mentorship, reduced to a cost center by a man who'd never sold a toaster in his life. And now, on a bright Saturday in August, 2 blocks from Apex Appliances, I was about to show him what a real cost looked like. We didn't do a flashy launch. No overproduced ads or mascots in oven costumes. We did something Morgan never understood. We kept it personal. We called past customers by name. Sent thank you emails to everyone we remembered. Sierra personally invited the neighborhood HOA presidents. Leo offered free in-home install checks for returning clients. Amy curated a small showroom experience so warm, people stayed just to chat. We opened at 10 a.m. By 10:15, our first customer said, "I've been looking for you guys. Thought you disappeared." By noon, the parking lot was full. We had a line. A line. For a local appliance store. Morgan must have heard about it by 2 p.m., because that's when he showed up. He parked across the street, stepped out of his BMW and his overpriced loafers, and stood there like he'd just witnessed a crime scene. His arms crossed, jaw tight, watching people carry out bags with our logo on them, ironclad, built to last. He didn't come inside, didn't have the spine. But his assistant, the poor thing, tried calling Sierra the next day. Offered her a raise, a new title. She forwarded the voicemail to our group chat with nothing but a laughing emoji. We didn't gloat. We didn't need to. Our sales spoke louder than any insult ever could. 3 days after our opening, we were booked for installations for the next 2 weeks. The local paper ran a piece, "Former manager builds retail comeback in record time." We got over 400 comments on the article. Half of them were from old Apex customers. The other half were Apex employees, dropping resumes. I walked into work each day with music playing through our showroom speakers, the scent of fresh brewed coffee in the air, and my team smiling like they just remembered who they were again. And Apex? Morgan had started closing early. The thing about people like him? They know how to chase margins. But they don't know how to build loyalty. Loyalty can't be bought or threatened. It has to be earned, moment by moment, year by year. I earned mine. And now, he was the one watching from behind glass, wondering how everything fell apart so quickly. He never saw it coming. Because he never saw me. He came in on a Wednesday. Midday. No appointment. No warning. It had been 6 weeks since our grand opening, and Ironclad was running like a Swiss watch. Sales were up 40% beyond projections. Local contractors were referring us left and right. Jasper was already talking about expansion, east side of town, maybe even Portland. And me? I was finally sleeping through the night. No spreadsheets at 2 a.m. No anxiety migraines. Just peace. Earned peace. The bell over the door chimed, and I looked up from the counter, and there he was. Morgan Tate. No suit this time. Just a dress shirt with rolled up sleeves and that expression men wear when they've tasted failure for the first time and don't know how to chew it. "Hi, Opal," he said. I didn't respond. He stepped closer, trying that same disarming smile he used the day he cut my salary like he was trimming a hedge. "This place is impressive," he said, glancing around. "Very warm. Community-oriented." I didn't need the flattery. "So what do you want?" I asked. He hesitated. Just for a moment. Then, "I'd like to talk partnership." I almost laughed. But I didn't. I let him keep digging. "You have a good thing here," he continued. "And I've got capital, infrastructure, reach. We could expand this model. I mean, really scale it. You bring the heart, the team. I bring the engine." He said it like I hadn't already built the whole damn engine from the ground up. "I see the numbers, Opal. I see the buzz. You won. But let's be smart about this, don't let emotion keep you from growing faster. I can help you go national." That's when I leaned in. "Do you remember what you said to me?" I asked. He blinked. "What?" "That day in your office. After 13 years. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. I repeated it back to him, word for word. "We're cutting your salary by 35%. Nothing personal. Just business." He looked down. Silent. "So here's my answer," I said. "Nothing personal. Just business." Then I smiled. "But if you want a loyalty discount on a new dryer, I might be able to help." He didn't say another word. Just nodded stiffly, turned, and walked out the same way he came in, smaller than he arrived. That was the last time I saw him. Not because I hated him. Because I had nothing left to prove. Some people think revenge is the end goal. But I've learned something different. Revenge isn't the destination. It's the road you take to remember who you are. After Morgan walked out of Ironclad, we didn't celebrate. We didn't toast. We just got back to work. Like always. Because this place, this life, wasn't built for payback. It was built for freedom. We hired 5 new team members in the next 2 months. Good people. Smart. Hungry. 2 of them had just quit Apex. I didn't ask why. I already knew. The community kept showing up, too. People who'd bought their first fridge from me 10 years ago, now bringing in their grown kids. Contractors dropping off boxes of donuts to say thanks for our speed. Even the high school AV club came in to ask if we'd sponsor a robotics event. We said yes. And somewhere along the way, I stopped waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because there was no more shoe. No more ceiling. Just sky. I sat in my office one night, long after closing, the place quiet except for Leo humming while fixing a busted air fryer in the back. I looked out at the sales floor, clean, warm, full of light, and realized. I didn't miss the old store. I didn't miss the titles, or the salary, or the approval. I certainly didn't miss Morgan Tate. I had something better. A business that worked on respect, not fear. A team that would walk through fire for each other. And a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. I wasn't someone's employee anymore. I was Opal Merritt, owner, builder, leader. And Ironclad wasn't just a name. It was a promise. To myself. To everyone who believed in me. And to every woman who's ever been told, it's just business. Because next time someone says that to you, smile. Then make your move.